Hello,
Hi.
and welcome to the latest episode of The Peak and the Pit. I'm Jazz,
I'm Kat.
and that was a phone noise. Didn't everyone hear it? Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Peak and the Pit for Mental Health Awareness Week. How are you, Kat?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm so excited. I'm loving this week.
I know it's been such a good week, hasn't it?
I'm feeling quite inspired. I'm not going to lie.
I know. We've got someone amazing today as well. So who is it?
She's like the most super strong woman ever on planet Earth. I think I know I keep saying the word inspiring, and I'm doing my own head in saying inspiring, but she actually is inspiring. So
Yeah.
there it is again. She's called Emily Williams, and she goes by M's Power, which is even cooler. And I found M through powerlifting. So I
Yeah.
started following her because I was just fascinated by her. And then I remember going to a powerlifting competition and she was there and I was like, please can I have a picture with you? I've proper
Aw.
fangirled. I love her. I love everything that she's about. And we managed to bag her on the podcast, so I'm buzzing.
Yeah. So let's see what she's got to say.
Hi Ems, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
How are you? You okay?
I'm very well. And yourself?
Yeah, not bad.
Good. Yeah.
Good. And you, Kat?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, very good today. It's been a nice day. So.
I do think the weather makes all the difference, doesn't it?
It definitely
Oh,
does.
it's so nice today.
So, your first question is, what has been your peak and pit of the week?
Sure. So I'm gonna start with the pit first. I don't know if everyone knows, but I had a back injury that that somehow occurred about 10 months ago, and now it's back with a vengeance. So the pit is the fact that at this moment in time, starting from Monday, yesterday, I couldn't squat and deadlift for the next 8 weeks. So
I know how much you like to squat and deadlift as being a fellow powerlifter.
Yes. So even though I'm smiling deep down inside, it's definitely a pit of the week, that for sure. But on a happier note, my peak of the week has been a follower from Instagram messaged me and kindly donated her whole gym setup that she had to me and my clients. So that's definitely a peak of the week.
That's amazing. That kind of leads on to our next question, actually. So you love fitness, don't you? As we can see from your Instagram. What was your reaction to gyms closing during the lockdown?
I mean, it was, a big slap in the face. I mean, I would say it was initially quite tough because obviously fitness is all I've ever known from such a young age. And for me as well, it was like seeing the defeated faces of my clients over FaceTime using their 2-kilo kettlebells or their bags of rice or whatever it is that they were using at the time just to try and get it in. But yeah, no, it was hard. But I mean, luckily enough, I managed to grab some equipment, a small amount, and I managed to do like sessions at home. And then obviously once we was allowed to do face-to-face a few months later, was able to use that equipment and then travel around to see clients as well. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm guessing it was hard for you as well, Jazz.
Yeah, it was just weird, wasn't it? I think I totally understood the need for it because I train in a commercial gym, so it's so busy. So I can kind of understand. And they say, oh, if you go in and just using one piece of equipment, but you end up talking to everyone. And like usually when you're powerlifting, there's a group of you, isn't there? There's like 3 or 4 people that train together.
Yeah.
So I'm totally with you there. I just found it a really strange thing. I didn't train at home, but my strength has gone depleted.
Really?
Massively. Yeah.
See, this is the thing. Like, it's just like as soon as the gyms close, everyone was buying the equipment. So if you did not get it within the first week, you was literally, you was either paying extortionate prices on eBay, or you just had nothing, So what was you to do?
Exactly. I think it's going to be one of those things, and I've said this so many times, like when we're 60, 70 years old, we'll be like, well, we lived through a national pandemic. Like,
100%.
But we're through 100%. It now. We're out the other end. Gyms are open.
Yeah, exactly.
And rolling. So my next question to you, you have Gym Safe Ladies. It's like an initiative you've started. I want you to explain it because it's your baby, but what was the inspiration about
it? So if I quickly explain it, Gym Safe Ladies is it's like a movement or a campaign dedicated to raising awareness of sexual harassment in our gyms and I guess our fitness industry, and then trying to create safe spaces for women within our gyms. But basically, about 5 years ago, I had a situation at a quite a popular gym where I was sexually harassed by a member. And after this situation happened, I went through the proper channels to try and report it. And initially, they didn't listen to my complaint. They didn't want to ban this member, even though he had been inappropriate to me on a few occasions. And after speaking to like my coach, who's still my coach now, and other PTs that were in the gym, they were like, just take it further. So I ended up emailing the MD and having to set up a meeting with him. So this process was quite a lengthy process in order for them to ban this member. And 5 years ago, I guess I didn't really think too much about it. I just did it. And actually, when I look back at the emails, I said in my email that, this is the reason why women don't come to gyms, or they won't, take up space in the weight section, which is somewhere where I love to be. So I don't know what initiated it directly, but I over the years, I've just continually had these experiences with people in the gym where they would either undermine me by, if I had my stuff in a rack, they would come and just take my stuff off the rack and think I wasn't using it because the weights were heavy or whatever. And I just thought enough is enough. And just decided to launch this movement. And like loads of people just started to resonate. Like loads of people could resonate, and they just started messaging me their stories of like situations that they had in gyms, either with like PTs, members, staff. And I just got a group of ladies and guys together, and we did like a video like opening up the discussion on what harassment could look like in the gym, and how our men can like help talk out about it, as well as leaving it to the ladies to kind of do, because it's quite a difficult subject to approach. I mean, if you're so used to it daily and it's so normalized, coming out and speaking out about it kind of feels like, it's quite a tough thing to do because it's so normal. So that's kind of what Gym Safe Ladies is based on.
I think most women that have been in the gym have in some way dealt with something like that. I mean, I've had numerous inappropriate comments, and you just kind of like bat it off. Like I laugh it off and just think, oh, tell them to do one or whatever. But really, it's not okay. And it is quite intimidating. And I find like when I used to be able to squat heavy,
you can still squat heavy.
It'll come back. It will come back.
No time.
But I used to find people just stopping and watching, and I just think, oh, they're just watching. They're just like, because it's heavy. But I used to then panic and think, that's really intimidating. Stop watching me. Like I don't stop and watch you. If someone's sprinting on a treadmill, I don't stand behind you and like, oh, you're going fast.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I mean, though. It's like, it's literally, and it's the gawking, like the leering, that is honestly probably one of the most annoying parts of training. Like, especially like being in the weight section as a female, and if I'm in there may be one other woman in there, and there's at least 30 people in this weight section, and there's only 2 women. You're always outnumbered, so it's that more, you're isolated in this little section, it doesn't feel good.
No, it's not.
And I think it's about educating the guys that this doesn't feel good, because some of them, honestly, they don't know that they are intimidating. They don't know that they are staring, because it's so normal. We've allowed it to go on this long. So there's just loads of campaigns now just speaking out about public sexual harassment, which is, you know, fantastic, and like trying to make it a crime, which it should be. So yeah.
So how does it make you feel now going into gyms after experiencing what you experienced?
To be honest, it's quite difficult for me to feel uncomfortable. I may feel it slightly, but because my older brother trained me, and fitness has run through my family since from my dad, my granddad, I'm confident in that area. So I can only just imagine how hard it is for ladies who are not confident. And that's what gives me the energy and the passion to push it, because I train so many of those ladies who will not go into a weight section and who will not even want to step into a gym because of this fear. So I know that things need to change. And, you know, thankfully enough, I've joined up with another company, the 97 March, and together we're trying to tackle this like head on with the gym. So we've had a couple meetings with a couple chains. So we've had a meeting with Pure Gym, the gym group, and, you know, we're really trying to push this to change. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it all.
Fantastic. Yeah. I think it's definitely needed. So well in.
Thank you.
It's great.
So how has fitness helped with your mental health?
I mean, it's a lifestyle, isn't it? It's I think the most important thing probably, or the reason why I know it's so important is due to this back injury, because like I said, I've been training basically all my life, but when I got injured and I realized I couldn't train, I think for the first few weeks, month or whatever, I was like, woohoo, I'm on a break, you know. You know how it gets when you're always structured and, you know, finally have a bit break, and then you realize that actually this is very serious. And I realized that not being able to move has had a toll on my mental health this year especially, and more so because of everything that's been going on with like the lockdowns, no gyms, no real contact with people. It has been tough. Some of my family went off to live in Spain, so I was on my own for a little while. So not having training I found incredibly difficult, to the point where recently I started boxing. I picked up boxing training, which is so random, but the problem is that it was never, with me in training, it's never like a punishment for what I look like, or it's never like, oh, I need to change what I look. It's always been, I need my body to move, because my body it needs to be functional. Like I need to be able to, I want my body to have like, I don't know, this like purpose of movement, you know, so being able to hit, being able to lift, whatever it is. So yeah, I would say this year more than ever, it showed me, and I'm sure it showed so many others, how important it is to mental health to move and to eat well. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think it's definitely when I was powerlifting, more structured and was like working up to competitions and stuff. You'd get in your head that you had to train and you had to stick to your routine. And then that becomes a problem in itself. And trying to fall out of, I don't want to say fall out of love with it, but fall out of that structure was so difficult. It used to eat me up if I hadn't got my heavy squat session in that week, or if I hadn't done my light shoulders. And I think it's got to make, as long as it's healthy for you and you're not going the totally opposite way.
Yeah.
I do think it's helped massively. I took up running.
Oh my God. I've done some jogging. Oh my God. My friends, they laugh at me. They say you're like an earthquake. Well, you know, with strength training, you've got big legs, or, you know, you're quite heavy. You don't know what cardio is, you know.
Well,
not with powerlifting anyway.
I took up running in the lockdown because I just thought I've got to get out, and now I've signed up to a marathon, so I'm doing the Manchester Marathon in October.
Oh my God!
So just to push, because I've always said in my lifetime I want to do it, and I said I wanted to do it for my 30th birthday, which will be next year, and then after a bottle of wine or 4 on a Saturday night.
Do you know what? I haven't actually gone back to the gym. I did a couple sessions training, but I guess where I now, especially I've got this equipment, I've just not. I think, one thing that it's shown as well is that you're able to do things outside of that establishment, and that for me, you know what? One thing I will say as well is that when we did go into lockdown, a lot of my fellow PTs, because they did other sports or they did boxing or they did HIIT, whatever, they found it super easy. But I've always relied on weights, so it made me expand. Like, I literally had to get creative, had to think, how can I make this work without a leg press or without a squat rack? Do you know what I'm saying? So it helped you grow. It helped me grow as an individual anyway, because you had to think outside of your normal box, your comfortable box. So yeah, that's probably why I haven't gone back, because I just think, well, the gyms are lovely and it's great, but also, my women, because I only train women, they're really comfortable training with me in my garage. So, it's just us.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ems. We really appreciate it.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's so last minute as well. So honestly, thank you so much. I think you will have inspired some women to get back into the gym. I know that, because I know so many of my friends go, "Oh, did they have a ladies only bit?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but we're not going anywhere near it, thanks."
Yeah.
They leave the 5 kg kettlebell in there because they think that's all women use, and there's a treadmill.
Absolutely. This is what needs to change, though, because you know what, we're going to actually have a meeting with Pure Gym, and they want us to tell them, what they need to do to help women. And when I asked the ladies, they basically said that they wanted ladies only sections, but we can't have lady only sections with crappy equipment.
No.
If we're going to have only sections, they need to be just as big as the men's, and they need to have proper squat racks in there, not just some pink little kettlebells or dumbbells or whatever, because that's not what we lift. Do you know what I mean?
Before we end as well, can I just ask you one more question?
Yeah.
What would be your advice to any woman out there that's thinking of getting into fitness and might be a bit nervous about doing that?
So I've preached this for the longest time. I always say to people, and this is not because it's my business, it's because this is what I did: get a coach, get a PT, a good PT or a good coach, because having somebody there when you first come in, to meet you, to show you how to use things, to teach you technique, is so important to confidence building in that area. I mean, if you wouldn't go to anybody to check your teeth, or you wouldn't just go to a dentist and start doing the work yourself, or you wouldn't go to a mechanic and start changing, I don't know, the pumps and everything. So if you're going into an industry, get a professional, make sure that they're good, they're qualified, and get talking with them, get comfortable with them, and allow them to lead the way for you, because that's what I did. And I swear to God, I couldn't imagine any other better avenue to get into fitness than having a good personal trainer. So yeah.
Oh, good.
I second that. I totally agree. That's exactly what I did. I remember joining the gym and I didn't.
Yeah.
I literally just did the classes.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go and do a Zumba, and I'll go and do a body pump.
Yeah.
And then I knew I wanted to lift weights. So I remember being in a body pump class and I was like squatting like more than, I mean, I know it was full of like middle-aged women and that, but I was like, oh, this is quite easy. I'm going to put more on. And I thought I quite like weights. And that's how I got into because I would never have gone in a weight section on my own. Not a chance.
Exactly. Yeah. It's intimidating. It's scary. And I understand why, because there's so many guys in there. And as soon as you walk in, it's,
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that would be my best piece of advice to any ladies wanting to start training.
I think it's great advice. So thank you again, Ems, for joining us. We
really
appreciate it.
Much appreciated. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on Mental Health Awareness Week. If you haven't already, then please do get yourself to our Instagram page at @thepeakandthepit_podcast, where you'll find we've got a lovely little giveaway. What have we got, Kat?
We've got a meal and drink at Red's True Barbecue, and also a meal and drink at Impossible Manchester. We've also got free cocktails, smoke and mirrors.
Can we win the giveaway?
I wish.
And do join us tomorrow, where we'll speak to another amazing guest with another incredible story. If you have found something we've spoken about to be triggering, then there is a 24/7 mental health tech support line in the UK. All you need to do is text SHOUT to 85258 and someone will be on hand to help you talk it through. I think that is exactly what we need to do. Sometimes you've just got to talk it through, haven't you, Kat?
Yeah, you do, absolutely. Do make sure that if you are struggling at the moment, reach out to someone or reach out to some of the services that you mentioned.
Yeah, there are some incredible services, and you will find a list of them. And I think one of our first ever Instagram posts, we listed all the services in the UK. So do just go and check them out if you feel that you need to speak to someone. Join us tomorrow, guys.
Yes, make sure you tune in tomorrow to find out who we're speaking to next.
Can't wait.